Good afternoon, everybody. We are live. Hopefully you can. Oh, hello.
Good
Hello.
timing.
Hopefully you can see and hear us okay. Please let us know down in the comments if you can. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a hello. Just let us know that you can hear us loud and clear. I was just saying to Matt beforehand, literally made it by the skin of my teeth because we're going away this weekend. So I'm literally having to pack about 10 million things into this week. So yes, Lee's joined us. Hi, good afternoon, Lee. Just let us know if you can see and hear us. Okay, Andrew's joined us. Good afternoon, Andrew. Just checking we're live. We are, which is good.
Live. Are we live? I can't see us live. We are now.
We are, yeah, a little bit.
I don't think Facebook's kicked out that notification because sometimes it pops up and kicks out a notification, doesn't it, that we're live?
Yeah, my Bluetooth keyboard has gone on my computer now. So normally I, sort of look at what we're going to be covering, any questions or anything like that whatsoever. So we're flying solos. We're flying blind a little bit today. So Camsy, all loud and clear. Thank you very much. Thank you, Andrew. Who else has joined us? Lindsay's in the house. Steve's there. Hello. Hi, Steve. Hope everyone is good. Just wait for a few more to jump on and then we'll start talking about everything. Hopefully I can remember off the top of my head. Who said that? Lloyd, hello. Hi, Lloyd. Hope you're well. Good afternoon. There was me wondering what to watch during my lunch today. And we are happy to oblige, Lord. Lord Lloyd. Happy to oblige. Always feel free to jump in and get, good experience from experienced sellers and, good comment as well. So thanks for joining us. Hi, Simon. Hi, Yvonne. I've just seen your question, Yvonne. So we'll probably jump in on that one straight away. Dan says, on at the perfect time, 8 p.m. here in Taiwan. There we go.
Yeah. There we go.
What is Taiwan like, Dan? Let us know. There we go. That name's going to stick now, Lloyd. You're definitely going to be Lord Jones now, for sure. That is going to stick for sure, 100%. Right. Okay. So Yvonne asked us a question. I'm going to see if I can jump in and see it. Yvonne, you don't want to be a sweetheart, do you? And just sort of copy and paste it into the comments so I don't have to. Nothing's working this afternoon, just so I can run through it. I think it was a question about listing and updating listings. So kind of first of all, Ash has joined us as well. First of all, so I kind of need to know what type of listing it is. Is it one that you've created yourself? Or is it one that is someone else's listing, i.e. arbitrage listing that you've jumped on? So we will just wait and see for that to come in. Hopefully that'll be okay. If not, I will fumble around and join it. Joe's joined us via YouTube. Good afternoon, Joe. Hope you're well. So yeah, we'll just wait for. There we go. I'm gonna put you up on the screen. Yvonne says, I'm having real problems. Oh, someone says I'm looking younger.
Oh,
really? Don't know what I've been doing. I feel a lot older. Right. Okay. So Yvonne said it was created by the brand owner and now I'm updating it for him. Having real problems updating listings, both titles and bullet points. I update the listings using the edit button, but it's not pulling through. Do you have any suggestions? Yes. So what you need to do...
Apparently I've gone the other way.
Yeah, you've gone the other way. Absolutely. It must be working with me. So yeah, sorry about that, Matt. Yeah, so what you need to do is you need to get the person that owns the brand. You need presumably they've got brand registry. There's a section in brand registry that you need to get them to give you authorization, so they can add you as like an authorized seller, someone that can update the listing, someone that can make changes, and that's in the brand registry. You won't be able to do it via the inventory and edit button. Unfortunately, it has to be done through the brand registry. If they don't have brand registry, then unfortunately they can't give you authorization. You would have to get some sort of access to their account via the manage permissions, and you could change it like that. But there's no way, unfortunately, now that I'm aware of, for a third-party seller effectively, or an outside person to update a listing that they didn't create. So I would check if they've got brand registry. That's the easiest option. If they've got brand registry, then they can give you permission in the brand registry section to be able to update. Oh, you've got full permissions. Yeah, it could well be then the only other thing that it could be is that it is a locked listing. So Amazon will, on occasion, depending how old the listing is, they don't want any changes being made to it because it's, presumably performing well or whatever. Sometimes they lock the listing, which makes it that only Amazon are able to make the changes within those listings. So that is a possibility. But I would say, oh God, this is a can of worms. There could be could be a number of things. It could be the store might not be connected to the brand registry. It could be a locked listing. It could be the permissions might not be quite right. It might not have been accepted. The thing about brand registry, I think a lot of people don't realize is think of Seller Central and how, I suppose, how things don't quite work in Seller Central. Well, brand registry is worse. The concept to it is brilliant, everything that it does, but it just doesn't flow. And whenever it doesn't do what you're supposed to do, you connect your store, but then if you don't put your right email in the right place, then it can go to somewhere else. And it just doesn't flow. It's like someone set it up, but didn't connect all the dots, to be able to do it. And don't get me wrong, it's fantastic with what you can do with brand registry, but it can just be a massive pain in the bum. So first of all, what I would do is I would check definitely you do have full permissions. And it's clunky. That's exactly the word I was looking for. Very clunky. I would check that you do have full permissions. I suspect I've not really heard of many listings being permanently locked now moving forward. It's something they used to do years ago, but they don't seem to do it as much now. So what I would do is I would contact brand registry support, not Seller Central. So I would contact brand registry support and ask why, with someone with full permissions, that you're unable to update the listing. That's the only thing I can think of. And then they might come back to you and say, oh, we need, a copy of your passport or something like that. I don't think they will for permissions on a brand. But it might just be a case of a box has been missed in the process or something. That's the only thing I can think of, unfortunately. So back to brand registry support and ask them, I'm afraid. So Seller Central won't be able to help you. It would only be through brand registry. So sorry about that.
Seller support can't help you with most things, though, can they? No, let's be honest.
Okay. So Yvonne says she's never contacted them before, but that could be very helpful. You need to speak to brand support on that. It won't be Seller Central that will be able to fix that. It's a separate infrastructure completely to Seller Central. It has its own support team. It has its own infrastructure. It has its own data. It has its own statistics. It has its own everything. It's completely separate entity, which I don't know if a lot of people are aware of, actually, because you think it's all connected and you think, oh, okay, if my store is showing an error, I should be able to contact Seller Central. But no, it's not. It's all Seller Support. It's brand registry. It's completely different.
I think you forget how big Amazon is, and Amazon is like companies within companies, and they don't speak to each other.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Matt does say brand support will help you fix the issue much faster as well. But he says sometimes say delete and re-upload a flat file. That might help as well. So if you're aware how to do that, Yvonne. Johnny's joined us. Afternoon, Johnny. Hi, Donna.
Hello.
Loads of people have joined us. Simona's watching. Tez watching from the Britannia Inn at Elterwater. Well, I hope you're enjoying that. Philip's joined us as well. Jane's joined us. So yeah, thanks, Ash. I'll take the compliment. Matt,
I have to say, it's a long month for me, apparently.
Yeah,
I only saw it a month ago.
Absolutely. So Sean's joined us. Afternoon, Sean. It says, do you ever ask your employed team to work on a bank holiday and do time in lieu?
No, it's honest answer. No, we don't do weekends and bank holidays. We do customer service support, and there's time in lieu for that, and it's contracted. They have to do that, but we don't actually do any parcels. We can't do any parcels anyway because UPS aren't picking up, Royal Mail aren't picking up for eBay, so it's kind of pointless anyway. In a way, we could prep shipments, but it just doesn't seem worth it, to be honest, for what the benefit of people having time off in holidays is, and bank holidays and things.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've always thought when it comes to bank holidays and things like that, especially, running our own business, having staff over the years and things like that, if I'm not prepared to work bank holidays,
yeah, I was
I'm
going
not
to say
gonna
the
ask.
same.
I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
want to
ask the
work bank
staff.
holidays.
I don't want to
Yeah.
work bank holidays. It's not why I do this. So
No,
if I feel a bit disingenuous, don't get me wrong. There was always people that sort of said, oh, I haven't got any plans. Can I work tomorrow or something like that? And if we had work and we had the spare hours, and providing they didn't want paying, time and a half or anything. No, I'm only joking. But there was always an option if someone wanted to do it. But yeah, I'm just not going to ask people to work bank holidays when I wouldn't be prepared to work them myself, being the owner of the business.
Yeah,
If that makes
exactly.
sense. Oh God, Johnny says, gotta go. The chain on my shutter door just broke.
Ours did that last week. It came off. They have runners, and came off the runners last week. It was right pain.
Oh,
It was
gosh.
pretty quick fix, but yeah.
Yeah. Is it like putting VN's joined us as well? Afternoon. Is it like putting like a chain back on like a bike?
But like massive. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Not the same distance, of course, definitely. Right, let's jump into our subject. Was it Steve that said about let's have a quick look. Comments are flying in today. Ted said, anyone registered interest in eBay FBA? We will talk about that in a bit. I just want to cover
FBE, I guess it would call it, rather than FBA.
Yes, FBE.
FBE.
And if they don't call it that, they're missing a trick, definitely.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to cover that this afternoon because I'm keen to hear Matthew's thoughts on that. I know nothing about it at all, but I'm keen to hear your thoughts on it, Matt. But I wanted to quickly jump in first thing and talk about something that's really affecting people at the moment, which is the massive amount of refunds that people have been seeing, in particular due to the Kinder Egg situation. And do you know what? When
we
the
need a
words
name
come
for
out,
that. We need to call it like the Kindergate or something.
Yeah. And it sounds ridiculous when the words come out of my mouth, when I say something like that. But and anyone listening outside of this kind of circle of that we're all in the bubble, the Amazon bubble, will think, oh my God, what on earth are they talking about? But it's actually a really serious issue for a lot of people for a number of different reasons. And I wanted to go through and cover that this afternoon because it's you see it popping up in different groups, lots of people asking, some people who maybe are slightly new might not understand the severity of when something like this occurs, and what can, if anything, be done about it. So I want to run through, this isn't the first time something like this happened, and it certainly won't be the last. So we always try and create as much awareness about it as possible. Certainly in this circumstance, there's nothing could have been done to prevent. So, whenever an issue comes up, always do an after action review, have a look back and see what can be done to prevent for the future. In this case, nothing, apart from not selling it, not selling on Amazon.
but then you could just say that. You could say the same for any brand, couldn't you? Oh, yeah, we joining me in Take Out Coffee Club today.
Oh, yeah. There we go. That's why I was late. can't exist without the coffee. So yeah, it's a very unusual situation in the sense that nothing can have prevented this. It's one of those. It's not a once in a blue moon situation, because I'm certainly aware of something like this happening at least once a year since I've been selling on Amazon. So
yeah, there's been a few, because obviously I don't do food, but I do tech, and we've had a few recalls in years of mostly electrical safety, plugs and things catching fire. I mean, we've never been directly affected in the same way this has been, but it does exist, and it happens in other categories. Toys is quite common to be recalled as well. Paint issues is the most common.
Yeah. It can be anything, really.
Yeah, it could be anything.
It could be anything. It could be health and personal care. There was one I remember that was a sleep spray that people were using about 3 or 4 years ago. Chocolate orange gate, Terry's chocolate orange, blowing his nose again.
Oh, it's the printer. Sorry.
Oh, was it? I thought it was the guy that was blowing his nose again. Just clarifying that. Yeah, we had it with Terry's chocolate orange. There's definitely been some toys that it's been affected through over the years. So this is something that when you sell on a platform like Amazon in particular, I don't know how eBay would have dealt with it, but Amazon in particular, they will shoot first, then not ask any questions, then bury your body, and then maybe in 2 months' time they might exhume you if they're
public inquiry. Yeah,
exactly. They might put on an inquest afterwards. So we have to experience with Amazon. They don't do anything reasonably. And I shared in the group this morning. Boots put out a statement about it. So sorry, just to clarify for anyone that doesn't know, Kinder products are owned by Ferrero. And there must have been some sort of contamination to the Kinder chocolate, and it's been causing salmonella. So kids have been getting sick, and it's not one of these things. People have actually been getting sick off of the back of it. So there's been a countrywide recall of certain Kinder products, which Kinder's not a wide brand, so I think it's pretty much all the Kinder products. So they've been all recalled. Now, Boots today or yesterday put out a statement saying, and this is what you'll find with most retailers, is if you bought it within a certain period of time, don't eat it, and contact the brand for a refund. Or whatever. I mean, if someone's bought a packet of Kinder Eggs, I'm just going to chuck them away at the end of the day. I'm not going to contact for it. But there's going to be the Karens out there of the world that are definitely going to ring up Ferrero, stay on the phone for half an hour just to get their $1.99 back. But Amazon don't see it like that. Amazon's third-party marketplace. Amazon have issues a lot of the time that most sellers probably are not aware of, in the sense that it's continually fighting a case in America to have, and it's fought for years to be separated from the marketplace, to Amazon themselves. Who's responsible in the supply chain, for that level of liability? So in short, Amazon do not want the finger being pointed at them, and they don't want any type of hassle, any type of, suing or, issue caused when it's still relatively up in the air. Although Amazon, within their terms of service, do absolutely and categorically say that if you sell something on our platform, it's your responsibility. You're a third-party seller, has nothing to do with us. And they just saw Hayden jump in.
Everybody's crying this week, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. Well, especially after this Kinder thing for a lot of people.
Yeah, I know.
So, they categorically state that. And the trouble is, Amazon don't care at the end of the day. It's just easier for them to push a blanket button. And this is the other thing. One, you guys have got to remember, it's not personal. I know it feels personal when you see thousands of pounds coming out of your balance, your disbursements or whatever. One, it's not personal. They haven't targeted you directly. Like you said a minute ago, Matthew, Amazon, we forget how big Amazon is. They don't do things individually. It's blanket across the board. Shoot first, no questions. Yeah, bury later. And it's not personal, but I understand why people are so upset about this. We've personally seen £5,000 being taken off of, someone in these communities over the last week because they have sold a very high level amount of these products. And for some people, we were talking, I'm in the world of bundling, and a lot of people bundle Kinder products, put together. We haven't actually, so I was checking like crazy. We haven't sold Kinder products for 3 years. So for us, it was like few, but we have sold Kinder products in the past. But what it is, we've got some of these people that are selling like Kinder bundles. They're like 30 quid a go. And some of them sell 1,000 units a month. So if they are backdating which they are.
Is it a year? Is it a year? I think they're doing. I've seen
I've
up to a year.
Yeah, I've seen some people with 2020. But it's mainly about a year. Imagine the sort of dent that's going to have. And just because it has one Kinder product in, they're refunding the whole cost of the bundle, not just that one unit. So, and that's, not just unique bundles. It might be that maybe you've just got a 2-pack of Kinder eggs, multi-pack or something like that. So people have sold thousands of these units, and people have had thousands of pounds. Most people, it's probably maybe up to 100 units, something like that. But still, at £10 a go, it's like a grand. Who can afford to just lose a grand, off of their bottom line at the end of the day? So it is very upsetting. I understand why people get upset about it, but I think the thing that is really important to state, because we all know what Amazon's like, most people have looked at it and just gone, well, that's money gone. I really do think there's a few sellers out there, knowing what I know, what they sell in this area, that their cash flow must have been wiped out. It could ruin their business.
Yeah. Because like you say, even if you get this money back, it's the time, isn't it?
Absolutely. So just to reassure people, and this is what has always happened in the past. This is salmonella poisoning. So whether or not Amazon will look at it differently, I don't know. So I can't guarantee with what I'm about to say is actually going to happen. But looking at the past, this is what has generally happened. Is anybody that's found themselves in this position, Amazon have a 45-day limit for refunds, automatic refunds, to be enacted. 45 days. And if the product is not returned within 45 days, then you can apply to Amazon for reimbursement of that product. So, of course, we're talking about Easter eggs from a year ago or something like that. If anyone's got any Easter eggs from a year ago, they shouldn't be eating them anyway, because they're going to get some sort of poison in, from that point of view. So what I'm saying is that the products can't be, in most cases, I'd imagine, unless they're sales within the last month, of course, but who's, I'd imagine most people have scoffed them by now. Everyone eats Easter eggs early. But unless they're returned after the 45 days, Amazon does technically, as per their terms of service, have to reimburse you. Now, there's two things here. One, you might have to fight for it. So, this is going to be something. If you've sold 6 packs of multi-packs of, $7.99 Kinder eggs, you got to ask yourself, is it going to be worth my time to do it? But if you are someone that has been dramatically impacted, which a lot of people have, then be prepared. This might be one that you have to go through an escalation process, depending on the circumstances. But the terms are so, and you might have to get a bit wordy with your with your responses, like, as per your terms of service, and making sure that you're quoting the terms of service in your emails, and, absolutely going down that route, escalating it to the managing director. And then possibly, depending on some of the figures I've seen, you might even have to go down the letter of legal intent route. But of course, this is 45 days from now. So it's something we can discuss a little bit nearer the time when that deadline approaches. But like I said, for anyone that's been impacted, stick a note in your diary. There is absolutely no point trying to fight it before now, because Amazon won't even entertain it. The only thing you can do, which I always think is quite good for paper trail, is you can send a message to Seller Central now to say you expect to be reimbursed within 45 days if the units are not being returned as per the terms of service. But one thing people, again, do have to think, and this will be the last point on this, I know I've talked for ages, apologies, but, this has really affected some people by thousands of pounds, is Amazon do something called the Refund Commission as well, which is where you always have to know your Amazon fees. Every time they refund someone, they keep 20% of the fee cost for themselves, as a cancellation cost. So if you have quite high amount of refunds, then some people, even if it's £1,000, it's not 20% of £1,000, it's 20% of the fees.
Yes, it's 2%, I guess, because if you think the fee's typically 10%, you've taken 20% off the.
Yeah, but it's all
10%.
impacting on the bottom line.
Yeah,
now,
absolutely.
because this has been an Amazon refund, then possibly I would suggest, if you are impacted by quite a large amount, I would make sure, if you're going after any type of legal intent or anything like that, that you ensure that you're adding, because on your transaction report, it's not going to show that. So, well, it will show that, but you'll just look at the total at the bottom. You won't, so many figures there for a lot of people that, they don't take that into account.
Yeah.
So that is something, again, it's a hidden fee that a lot of people aren't aware of. And it's something every time you have a refund, that's something they keep their 20%.
Yeah.
They keep their
I'd say the easiest way to find that, when you do your transaction reports, if you do the PDF statement, it's in the bottom right-hand corner. I think it's second or third line from the bottom, and it's like refund commission. And it'll have a figure that they take off. Yeah.
So for me, in a scenario like this, Kamal says, "Thank God I didn't buy Kinder Eggs." Absolutely, hating the same. It could have happened with Cadbury, though. Could have happened with anything. It's such an unforeseen circumstance that you can't predict it, and you can't prevent it either. It's what's going to happen, but you can be on it. You can set a reminder on your phone to make sure in 45 days from now, because it's over the last week, most people, put it in your physical diary, put it in your planner, put it in your iPhone, something like that, just to ensure that it's something that just doesn't slip through the cracks. Because, Amazon, I mean, I marvel at Amazon, with what they do and how they can build people's businesses and things like that. But then at the same time, when I marvel, it's so upsetting to know that I know there is out there somewhere that this would have ruined their business. I know that.
Yeah.
For sure. Cash flow. Absolutely. Imagine, even if you've sold 1,000 of those units at £25-30, they take the full cost of the refund off. That's
even if you're going to get that money back in 45 days, that could potentially kill your business if you've not got cash to pay your suppliers and things like that.
Absolutely. It stops your stock. It stops, plus don't forget those listings have been taken down as well. So they've gone over, which actually, you can't blame Amazon for that. I don't blame them for that. They're just, cut the snake's head off, essentially. So I don't blame them for that. But, they cut potentially an income stream for someone, then taken the money back, stop their cash flow, stop them from creating more, and stop them from buying more as well. So, it's going to be a very difficult.
Is there clarity on what's happening to stock that's already in fulfillment centers as well? Are they going to dispose of that? That's just occurred to me when you said that. I was thinking, if you could have potentially sent a pallet of Kinder bundles in. Are they going to dispose of that? Are they going to send it you back? What are they going to do?
It depends what state the listing is. It could go into that weird kind of
going to stranded inventory kind of place.
Stranded, but you can't remove it until the listing's been, I can't think of the word. Put back up.
Reinstated.
Reinstated. I couldn't think of that word. So yeah, absolutely. So it could be that weird scenario. I don't personally have one, so I can't say with what it's going to be. But
I mean, if anyone is in that situation, what is your state of your stock? Is it in stranded? Is it removable?
Yeah, part of me thinks, come on, Amazon, they must make it removable. But salmonella is a public health hazard, so maybe it's just straight
destruction.
Yeah, destroying. But even if you have got a pallet in, by the time you remove them, by the time they come back to you, you can't sell them anyway. Might as well, if you got a pallet, it would probably cost you more to get them removed back to you. You can't resell them unless you want to live your life on, the next year on meals of potentially infected Kinder Eggs. Can't even give them to your kids, neighbors, or nothing. Nobody wants them at all. So yeah, it's unfortunately. Asma says, am I correct in thinking grocery products which are refunded Amazon don't ask for the goods back and you don't get reimbursed for these? It's a little bit of a rabbit hole, this one, because it's like a chicken and an egg situation. So grocery products should not be refundable. It's in Amazon terms of service. It's within their terms of service that you can't return it back, because I think it's like a health and safety thing, that it shouldn't be returned back into the warehouse. So therefore, absolutely correct. They don't ask for them back. But they shouldn't be refunding them at the same time, because it's in the Amazon terms of service that grocery items should not be refunded. They're unreturnable because they're unrefundable. It's Amazon's choice to refund them. But this is a public health scenario, and we're talking about products that potentially are over the period of refund anyway. So it's something that Amazon, I would imagine, would reimburse on. I've heard, like I said, it's happened previously. That's what's happened in the past. I don't know if it's ever happened in something as serious as salmonella. So they might take the stand on that and say, nope, sorry, we refund, simple as, and you're out. I still think if you are someone that's affected by thousands of pounds and you took it to a letter of legal intent, I think you would win. There's no doubt.
I was going to say as well. I think this is particularly high press, and therefore, if the sellers were to club together and potentially raise a claim against Amazon, Amazon isn't going to want that negative press, because you know, can you imagine that all these sellers are saying that they've basically been put out of business because of Kinder? Then it's not going to look very good on Amazon either, and Amazon care quite a lot about their PR, their image.
Yeah, and I remember reading a statistic somewhere, whether or not it's actually true. It's one of those urban legend, urban myth kind of things. So apologies. There's always someone out that goes, no, well, actually, in 1996, someone successfully did this. But I heard a statistic that no one's ever successfully sued Amazon because they always settle, because they don't want to set that precedent. Now, in all the years that Amazon have been going since 1996 or whenever it was, or a bit earlier, actually, I can't believe that no one has managed to successfully sue Amazon during that period of time. People win against Amazon, but it's because they settle. That's what
not because they win. Yeah,
not because they actually go to court and win. So, but you know, it's one of those things. It is what it is. You know, they generally buckle. We talk about this all the time. The lovely Anu posted a video about this last week in this group, and we'd had this conversation. I had this conversation, you know, in ESA, Elite Sales Academy, just the week before, talking about reimbursements and how to take, you know, cases to a letter of legal intent. And one of the things, you know, if I could get up the presentation to show you now, it just says resist it, you know, keep going. It is, for a case of Amazon, it's about the person that just doesn't give up. Resilient, just keep going, keep pushing, keep getting it, because in the end you will win. It's the people that give up, which generally is a higher percentage, are the ones that walk away because of frustration. Do you know what I heard the other day? This is crazy. I had someone the other day who got their account back from a suspension from 3 years ago.
Yeah, because they kept trying.
Because they never gave up.
Yeah, never gave up.
The process just never gave up. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. 3 years to go back from there. So yeah. So yes, Asma, it is technically thing, but it's like a chicken and an egg. They shouldn't have refunded it anyway. So, you know, it's perseverance, put your 45 days done, and you know, and go back from there. Yeah, Asma said, challenge everything.
Challenge everything. That's what we do. We challenge everything. And in fact, I should say I do exactly what you said before about the reminders. So when my reminders, I've got a set subsection called stock, and it's every time there's a case that they say, oh, you need to wait 45 days, I put it in a reminder and I set 45 days, and then every day I get all these alerts saying follow up on this case, follow up on this item, and never forget anything. And again, there's got to be, I suppose there's a balance here. You know, you don't want to be spending your entire life chasing up £1.50 refunds, because that's not good use of your time. But equally, you shouldn't let this money disappear if it is a large amount. There's got to be that balance, I guess, because if you end up spending 3 hours getting £1.50 back, that's probably not a good use of your time.
But that £1.50, I know that's an extreme case, but think about it. There's no set amount. I probably wouldn't chase something for 30 quid, but I would something for 300 quid. But then if I let 30 quid go 10 times in a year, that's 300 quid.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is that compounding effect. So what I would say is keep going, challenge everything, make sure you've got your templates set up, that it's, you're not writing individual sort of challenges each time. It's like a copy and paste situation. You make it as simple as yourself for possible. Create your own little system, your own little process for being able to send that through and doing it. And you know what, even when you challenge everything, even if 50% comes off, you're 50% better off than you were than if you didn't do it.
Yeah. I don't know how true this is. I don't think Amazon do it disingenuinely, but if all these sellers start chasing up these refunds, maybe they might be inclined to change. If they're getting away with it, there's no inclination for them to change. Same with missing items that are being received. If everybody's chasing up every single item that's missing, maybe Amazon might actually think maybe we need to look at why stuff's going missing, rather than just, well, no one's bothering, so what does it matter?
Yeah. And we've talked about this before. I've talked about this with Luke. I've talked about it with Matt Webley. I've talked about it with everyone, is that there was a period of time, believe it or not, where Amazon just agreed to pay out
Golden
on everything.
Yeah. Do you know, we had an incident, I think it was about 5 years ago, where some stock was missing. So we requested a reimbursement. We got a reimbursement and they sent the stock back to us. So we found it. Here you go. We've just sent it back to you because there's no listing for it anymore.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, well, you can keep the reimbursement. That was a long time ago, though.
A long time ago. Absolutely, for sure. Johnny's back. He's fixed it. Well, he said he's back. He's put what a nightmare. So I hope he's fixed it. Fingers crossed you have. G's watching afternoon. Simon says, interesting fact. I remember watching a Tom Parkinson video some time ago, and he said it's in the Amazon terms of service that you can't sue Amazon. It has to go to arbitration, which I'm sure it does, but everybody, especially in America, has the right to their day in court. So I don't see how you couldn't do that.
No, I don't see how you couldn't do that. I mean, there's a difference between violating terms of service and suing somebody, isn't there? Yes, you're probably violating their terms of service, but
yeah. So say, for instance, I fell over in an Amazon warehouse and a forklift landed on me and it chopped off my head, leg or something like that.
Chopped off your head.
Yeah, I wouldn't be worried. Wouldn't be worried in that case. I think, I don't know if you have a choice of being sued. If you want to sue someone, you can sue someone, surely. I don't know, but I'm not a lawyer. So there we go. Oh, Johnny said it's not fixed. The engineer's coming round. Manager has oil all over him. Luckily, no injuries. Thank God no one lost their head. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, bless him, Sean. With women products, pretty sure the shops don't do returns due to hygiene reasons, even if the product wasn't open. Absolutely, that's true. Same with jewelry, earrings, things like that. They're non-returnable. I don't know what Cindy's laughing at. But Amazon will more than likely refund the customer instead, and the seller loses and can't claim anything. But absolutely, that's why we say always challenge. Always challenge. Excuse me. Bless me. Yeah, always challenge. It's always worth challenging for sure. So, I mean, guys, I know we focused on that for a really long time, but I'm hoping that this will be an episode that people will be able, if this happens again in the future, that we'll be able to.
I think it'll be more when this happens rather than if.
Absolutely, that we'll be able to pick out, and thank you very much. We'll be able to pick out, and we can sort of say, look, we spent half an hour talking about it because it's one of those real impacting things. It didn't affect everyone, and apologies if we've gone on about it a long time. If you were someone that is not affected, but it's one of those things that is likely, like Matthew says, it's something that could be affected in the future. So hopefully the information. Picturing me trying to sue with Amazon without a head. Absolutely. So yeah. Just one of those things. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it can be really, really frustrating. It can be devastating. I don't think that's an estimation to say. Absolutely devastating this will be for a lot of people. So hopefully you don't mind, we focused on it for a long time, but at least you can picture me trying to sue Amazon with
no head.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's talk about FBE.
FBE. Yeah.
FBE.
So I just want to make just very clearly, so obviously Fulfilled by Amazon is by Amazon themselves. eBay does not actually have its own fulfillment. So what we are determining to be FBE, Fulfilled by eBay, is actually done by another company called Orange Connects, which is eBay's official partner. It used to be Hubu, but I don't know if they've dropped them now or they're still going, but I don't know if they've been dropped as the official partner. Now, I initially looked at FBE, or if you want to call it Orange Fulfillment by Orange Connects, when it first launched, which was about back end of last year, about September, I think.
You weren't that impressed, were you?
I wasn't very impressed because the fees were crazy. They were like post office rates. It was like, well, why would you outsource fulfillment and then pay the same price? That you're not getting any volume discount, and they were a lot higher. And of course, you had to add fulfillment costs on top of that and things. So wasn't very good. What's happened since, though, is they seem to obviously have found their feet with it a lot more, and the prices have come down considerably. Where now they are nowhere near FBA prices. Just be aware that FBA price fulfillment is super cheap, but it is a lot more competitive now compared to the market. One of the big things everyone's built to print today, don't they? Well, I need to get a
quieter printer. Have a print
I need to get a new printer. I'm gonna go on the Amazon and find a silent printer. So one of the things with the Fulfilled by eBay, which is a massive advantage, though, is eBay, they don't sort of cover the parcel for loss, but what they will do is if you have any defects related to a delivery issue, when using Fulfilled by eBay, they will remove the defect straight away. You have to argue the toss. I imagine as well when it comes to cases, you'll probably have a lot more found in your favor because they're handling the delivery. Whereas at the moment, when you're handling the delivery, the onus is on you to prove it's been delivered. Whereas with this service, I imagine they will be a lot more lenient and probably side with the seller a lot more when using the Fulfillment by Orange Connects. So currently, it's not as broad as FBA. So it is an invite-only service. So you do have to apply and you have to be accepted. I think that's more because they want to know what you sell and make sure that it works for their setup rather than you have to have any sort of criteria. For example, you can't sell any used goods, which is one of the initial issues we found with it. If you've got used products, if you don't accept used products, it's probably something that will change, but currently they don't accept any used products at the moment. So it's probably worth checking out if you're looking for an outsourced fulfillment partner. And they also do multi-channel fulfillment as well, so they can fulfill your Amazon and your merchant fulfilled Amazon orders and your Shopify website orders or Etsy or whatever platform you do. So that might be a big sway, but it is more money. It is more expensive to do multi-channel fulfillment.
So, quick question with regards to now that you've brought up, multi-channel fulfillment, has it still not always been cheaper, even with Amazon's multi-channel fulfillment cost, to do it cheaper, send it into Amazon and use their, MCF function for fulfilling eBay orders? Is it is it more expensive or less expensive than multi-channel fulfillment via Amazon?
So it's cheaper to do it through the Orange Connects than it is to do it through Amazon. The massive issue with multi-channel fulfillment on Amazon is there's no volume-based pricing. For example, every unit is charged individually, whereas on Orange Connects and most other fulfillment services, what they usually do is they'll charge the first pick at, say, 30p, and then it'll be 10p for every same unit after that. So that means if you sell a lot of the same units to the same customer, they're paying a massively reduced fee. Whereas with Amazon on the multi-channel fulfillment, you might sell 100 items to that customer. Amazon will send them in one box, but they'll charge you 100 lots of fulfillment pick and pack fee, which is crazy. Whereas they could literally be the same fulfillment cost for 100 units, depending on what it was. If you were selling little trinkets or something, you could fit 100 of them in a small parcel, which would be costing Amazon probably £1.50 with raw mail with their volume, but they're probably charging you £100. They're probably charging you £1 a unit. So, that is one of the big issues with multi-channel fulfillment that still has not been addressed at the moment. but it is addressed with a lot of other service providers.
I think that's the interesting thing about Amazon. For such an innovator, for such a well, the largest company in the world, if it really is the case, if they just look at it, if it ain't broke, they don't fix it. And I mean, we know it's broke, but if there's a certain amount of percentage of people are using it, it's like Yvonne, when we were talking with Yvonne at the start of this, it's the listing system on Amazon is broken, absolutely broken for new listings. Horrendous what you have to do, and what could potentially happen with new listings now. You really need to know the ins and outs, how to create a listing now in order for it to stand a chance, a new listing of getting anywhere on Amazon. But they're not prepared. It's like for such an innovative company, for the largest company in the world, and it could really be a case of they have just got too big, that they can't look at these things individually. They've just got bots, they've just got robots dealing with it, or whatever. It could be a case of that. But imagine how much better it would be, if they could address these things, these quagmires, I suppose, in their system. But yeah,
because I had a call. It was about a year ago with it was from Amazon. It was one of the the business customers, and she was saying to me, she said, "Oh, we really want you to push business customers." And I said, "Well, how can I do that when the main advantage of business orders is that they're bulk buying? They expect a discount because they're bulk buying, but I'm making no bulk saving because of your fulfillment." And she said, "Oh well, it's something we're looking at," and that was a year ago. So they're obviously not looking at it. Because if Amazon wanted to do something, they could do it. They just I think they're secretly using it to make more money on their fulfillment operations because they can.
And this is why you just have to keep doing. You have to keep on keeping on with Amazon, and keep on innovating, keep creating new income streams. They're even saying now on the private label side of things, and I'm seeing this kind of being talked about more and more and more. And I think, I agree with this. I think it's true because of knowing what everything else goes in the back end, is that with the innovations and everything, that most sort of private label listings now, unless you've kind of moved into the brand registry world and things like that, they got a 2-year lifespan, really, because there's always new people coming on and innovating and doing new things, and it just is something that you have to keep constantly moving. If you stand still on Amazon, you sink. It's as simple as that. And that's what happens with all of these areas. So Cindy said, I keep getting surveys about multi-channel fulfillment, so maybe they realize it needs tweaking. I think a lot,
maybe
absolutely, who knows.
I mean, to be honest, I the theory sounds fantastic, but I'm massively reticent because my main reason for doing eBay and Shopify was to diversify away from Amazon.
Yeah.
And if all my stock is in Amazon, I'm actually going more into Amazon because yes, okay, my sales are off Amazon, but if Amazon want to take hold of all my stock, there is absolutely nothing I can do about that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So will you be trying FBE?
I won't, because I've already got my own fulfillment operation and it wouldn't make any sense for me. But if anybody is interested in doing it, let me know how you get on. I'd be interested to jump on a call with you and see what's going on and see the fees and things. If anybody's looking to outsource their fulfillment, it looks a genuinely good option now. So initially the fees were too high, but it looks like a good option now. I'll see if I can get the fees up. One thing as well that is massively not talked about with the Fulfilled by eBay, the company's actually, I think they're either Dutch or German, and they've got a lot of fulfillment centers in Europe. Now, if somebody's looking, I think they're Dutch, yeah. So if anybody's looking to get back into Europe, these guys could massively help, because they could potentially move your inventory for you, which they actually said this, they could do this. They could move your inventory for you from the UK warehouse to a European warehouse, and you can fulfill it to European customers within Europe via them, which obviously takes a lot of the headache of the customs out, because you pre-clear it, and then as soon as it's in that country, then you make it live available for sale. So it takes a lot of the headache out from a shipping point of view. So if you're looking to sell your products in Europe on eBay and on your own website, then this might be the game changer for you, is using a service like this, because they've got that local fulfillment capability, which will make it competitive essentially.
Oh, absolutely. And do you know what? Over the next couple of years, there will be something absolutely that returns selling in Europe successfully. We talked about this previously, you know, when EFN come back, we thought, you know, this would be the option, you know, and it is for a lot of people. And Matthew, you posted about it yourself that you've seen, you know, a bit of a resurgence in your EU sales, which was such a massive market for you 2 years ago. So it is something that, you know, as more and more time goes on, we will see more innovative solutions, you know, coming up into place. I was watching the innovation that's coming through to supporting ECOM sellers at the moment is ridiculous. I was watching like some streams last night from, you know, kind of advanced Amazon stuff, you know, the brand registry stuff, the stuff that you can do with that. I was watching these streams last night, and the stuff that's coming through into, you know, what's going to be supporting Amazon and eBay sellers and that in the next couple of years is just mind-blowing, to be perfectly honest. And literally people will be in a position, and the more time we develop this group, the more time that we I don't know who Nappy Lover is on
YouTube.
On YouTube, but hello. You're welcome. It's, you know, yes, the more this group develops, and why this group was originally set up was to support people in e-commerce, you know, not just Amazon. We are predominantly dealing with, you know, Amazon audience to start with, but this is, you know, the areas we want people to expand in as much as possible, to be able to really take advantage, as what I've said, you know, been saying for a little while now, of this kind of golden renaissance of, you know, e-commerce, where people really do have an opportunity to build 6, 7, 8 figure brands that they can sell at a later date, that they can earn hundreds of thousands from. You know, it is really possible nowadays, and it's going to say easier than ever, and that's not what I mean. I mean the solutions.
There's a lot more solutions that make it easier.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy, but there are things in place that are able to enable people to get into that, you know, position if they so choose. Just going back to some comments, just picking up on what G and Johnny have said. They were having a little bit of a wrestling match. Who's had the most refunds, unfortunately. G 1,500 refunds. Go figure. G, hopefully you heard what we were saying. I know you're a very experienced seller anyway as well, but I'm sure you're fully aware of what we were talking about at the start and the process of hopefully being able to get them reimbursed to you. Johnny says 1,750 today.
Oh, is that pounds or orders?
I don't even want to know.
I don't want to know.
No, it'd be orders, knowing Johnny, because I'd imagine it's units. Wow. Because, you know, when you're a volume seller, this is what I mean. You know, it's, you know, massive impact on people. So yeah, it's something.
Oh, that's pounds. It's points pounds.
That's pounds. Yeah, it's still a big kick in the teeth.
It's a lot though.
Yeah, still big kick in the teeth. So yeah, absolutely, really disheartening for people, especially, you know, when it's something that has such, you know, big impact on people. Was talk about here again. I think it was VN said about, you know, or Hayden said about warehouse tour. You know, and I think we definitely have to do that at some point. And then VN was saying about where is it? I've lost the comment.
He was looking at how to arrange his warehouse.
Yeah, well, do you know what I'm thinking actually? And if Johnny's still on, I said this, you know, a few weeks when we were talking to Johnny. I think Johnny's going to come on. Hopefully, we need to just confirm the dates.
Yeah.
Okay. And join on a session whilst I'm on holiday with Matthew. But hey, that could be the perfect opportunity for you guys to talk some good warehousing.
Talk some warehouses.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Maybe you can.
You know how like most people go on like Rightmove on the weekend and look at houses. I do the same for warehouses.
Yeah, absolutely.
I literally do. Oh, I'll drive past. Oh, look at that warehouse.
Well, I do that. I do that with fencing. I've become. I don't know how it's happened. I literally drive past. I did it on Sunday as we were driving my son out to his football match in Christchurch. As I'm driving past, and it was in quite a nice area of Christchurch. You can always tell by the fences when you're going in, and if you can't see the house, obviously. And I'm like, oh Matt, look at that bit of fence. That's a nice bit of fence, And I'm like, when did this happen? When did this happen to me? But yeah, we've all got those. But yeah, if we can make the dates work with John, it would be great.
Definitely.
You guys to have a good old session talking about warehousing and some of those kind of best practices. I think that would be great. Who said that? Sean says £18 a fence panel 2 years ago, now 36. Absolutely.
That's like everything though, isn't it?
Yeah, timber. I did hear timber was coming down though. I think it was back on the downward slide. That's what I heard. But
boxes have gone up exponentially. We were discussing this. So the boxes that we bought in March were £1.80. They're now £2.58 for the same box.
I think most boxes are heading up towards the cost of about £3. So
£3 a box. Yeah,
I think that will be realistic by the end of the year. Prices shoot up quick, but they take a hell of a lot longer to come down. Yes, we're seeing the cost of shipping coming down, but that was before the fuel going up. So,
I think the freight from China has come down, but then domestic shipping's gone up.
Yeah,
so
and
swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
Well, the freight from China with the shipments coming down is as a direct result of the pandemic finishing, which essentially happened 6 months ago, 9 months ago, something effectively. When the supply chain broke, that's fixed. So we're seeing the impact of the prices coming down for that now, but they're going to go back up again because the cost of fuel, the cost of diesel. What pumps a ship across the water? Diesel, right?
Yeah, literally, yeah.
So
not wind anymore.
Yeah, I was thinking steamboat, really, or something. Yeah. I was thinking, no, I just double checked. It was diesel. So yeah, the impact of that hasn't been felt and will not likely be felt, for 6 months or so, because people do try and hold their pricing as long as they can. But it will always trickle through and it will always have an impact.
I'm going to say, just back to that point on, I know a lot of people said they've had low sales this week and this month. And again, I wouldn't drop your prices. That's a typical sales go down, people cut the prices, cut the margins, and then 2 months' time, stuff's not available. And they go, why the heck have I sold it for that price for? So I don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't. Just ride it out. Yes, it's a bad couple of weeks, bad month, whatever it is. But you'll thank me in 2 months' time when you're getting more margin than you're currently getting, rather than selling it all. Particularly those who haven't got replenishables. If you've got replenishables, it's a little bit different and you can resupply them. But if you're doing OARA, you're not going to get that stock again. You can't get that stock again at that price. It's probably a one-off deal. So definitely don't be reducing your price. And everyone else is in the same boat as well. If you can't get it, they can't get it. And everyone's probably buying the same deals at the same time.
Yeah.
Just don't undercut each other, because you're just going to kill everyone's margin.
Well, what's really interesting, and we haven't spoken about this, by the way, guys. I know you guys watching on YouTube. I'll come back to your comments in a moment. Just wanted to follow up on Matthew's point quickly. Was that we're just starting to sell arbitrage or reselling in the US, as in we're going through the process of getting it all set up and doing that at the moment. So, me being me, I'm already looking at sourcing. I'm already doing this. I've actually got a sourcing session in ESA for the USA tonight. And what's really interesting is more than ever looking at the data. So I want people to look at the data, more than ever now. Now, what I've noticed, which is really interesting with the US market, is that because the opportunity is so much bigger there, as in there's less competition, there seems to be more competition, but less competition. It's really weird. So it seems if a listing gets saturated, it gets saturated. We think a saturated listing here could be like 30 sellers. There it's 300. But because the opportunity is bigger and the volume is bigger, it reduces a lot quicker. So price tanking is horrendous in America, but it doesn't last as long because there's a much bigger market. Now, I actually think that's going to be the case now with price tanking in the UK as well. And it's why it's important to look at the data. Look at the supply. As Matthew has said, if you cannot get it that cheap anymore, do not sell it. until you have to sell it. I appreciate cash flow, margin mixing, all these different types of things comes into place. But really think about, don't let your repricer make the decision for you out of panic. Don't make an emotional decision on it. Really make the decision whether or not, making it an informed decision as to whether or not you should be selling it. Because I do think price recovery, again, it will be interesting to look at the data and, in 3-4 months time, looking back at this period in particular, after the FBA fees and increase and everything like that, it will be interesting to look back and see how quickly price recovery occurs. But I do think it will be quicker than most people would be used to seeing because of the cost of inflation.
I think as well, if anyone's sort of been in this business for less than 2 years, I don't want to say you've been spoiled because that's a bit rude, but what's happened is typically, if you look at typical prices, they go up in December, they fall like a stone, January, February, March, they creep back up in April. The problem is because of 2 lockdowns, which were both in March and April, statistically, these prices are higher than they would have ordinarily been. And if anyone's moved into the business in the past 2 years, you're probably having a major panic going, what's going on? My last year sales were this, this, and this. But they were never meant to be like that. This is a natural pattern. Prices go down, and then they go back up again, and they go back down. And this, you've got to be very careful, particularly when you're buying in the January, February months, because a lot of prices are artificially high from the Christmas peak, and then the stock comes into the country, from suppliers, and the big boys reduce the prices massively, and the prices fall off a cliff. So it's just something to be aware of. This is a natural price movement, and it's not anything unusual. It might be to you because you've been in the business less than 2 years, but if you've been in longer than 2 years, this is completely normal sales.
Absolutely. This time next year, Rodney has joined us, and he or she, sorry, I shouldn't have been presumptuous. Has said, I always found eBay customers constantly trying to scam their sellers. Now I hear a bit of a mixed bag on this. I'll come back to Clip's comment in a moment. I hear a bit of a mixed bag on this because someone like yourself, you think eBay, as far as I'm aware, you think eBayers tend to be more honest than Amazon sellers, whereas I do hear people, some people really do hate the eBay customer.
Yeah. So I think yes and no. What the problem with eBay is, because you deal with the returns yourself, you're probably getting a bit of a distortion, and you're probably thinking, oh, I'm just constantly getting scammed, issues. If you look at your overall sales, you probably dealt with 5 issues out of 100, but because you're dealing with them yourself and you're going through the motions physically yourself, you're therefore more acutely aware of the scam. With Amazon, this is all dealt with for you on your behalf, and then it comes back in a box, and you may never even know you've been scammed, So I don't think that the scams are worse on eBay. I actually think from a data perspective, they are better because the customers are much more receptive to you as an individual. They don't think they're scamming a massive corporation. They think that they're dealing with a person. But I think the problem is your perspective is that you're being scammed more because you're dealing with it firsthand, rather than it being dealt with by somebody else and it all being done in the past.
Yeah, Clip said, I agree, more honest and more business to consumer engagement. Let's have a quick look. I think that's short. No, let's go back to Clip's comment. Moving from Amazon to eBay now. IP claim got me in Amazon, and we're going around like a broken record. eBay to the moon. Well, I'm not sure if you heard earlier, and I'm not saying this is going to happen. Generally, most suspensions are resolved probably within 8 weeks. I would say that that's a relatively broad, and some are longer, some are less, but I was just talking that I was in contact with someone who got their account back after 3 years. And I know Sean asked the question actually earlier, was it constant? Sorry, I missed that. Yes, constant appeal. That was 3 years of not giving up. I'm not saying it was 3 years every single week for 3 years. But when an appeal goes in rejected, they even had the don't contact us again.
Oh, really? They got back from that?
Yeah. They even had that. God, I just literally got a message from Amazon as I was saying that, and I was like, oh my God. It just always scares me. It comes through on my phone as I was saying that. It did say congratulations though, as opposed to, go away. But yes, so it was constant. I mean, yeah, like I said, the been trying to get it back for 3 years. Probably maybe every 6, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. That was the contact periods in the latter years during that time. So please never try and give up. It is a broken record. We talked about it. Same with reimbursements. It's perseverance. And this person that was suspended, there was no hope of. They did something that should result in a permanent suspension as well. Not intentionally. It wasn't intentional, but it's always worth persevering if you have that character to do it. So make sure you keep going with it. eBay, and that's what happened to you, Matthew, wouldn't it? eBay was set up in the light of one of your suspension.
Yeah, it was.
That's what caused you to set up eBay. So hopefully, I'm hoping Clips, whoever you are, sorry, it doesn't give me the name. I'm hoping that it will be your opportunity to set up, like Matthew did at that time, an extra income stream that will give you potential protection in the future. And then I've got no doubts whatsoever you should be able to get your account back. Who are you using? Do you have Buybot Pro suspension safeguard? Anyone that doesn't have it, make sure you get it. It's a real game changer. It can really, really make the difference to paying out thousands of pounds to a suspension expert. Something that's well worth the money for sure. Peter says, reassuring, thank you. I think when you were talking about the sales, and just commenting on eBay, really depends on the category regarding scammy. eBay's technology on eBay is full of scammers, whereas most of the other categories aren't.
Yeah, it is for scammers, and we've noticed scams are getting worse because cost of living crisis. People are trying it on a lot more. That's something we've noticed. We've had people saying boxes have arrived empty and things. You've got to handle it in a professional but assertive way. But again, I genuinely don't think I think Amazon is worse, but I think you're not seeing it. All these items that are delivered that the customer says aren't delivered, Amazon refunds them and then refunds you. So do you actually know? Do you even care? It would be my question. I don't think it's worse. I just think people are just so much more aware when they have to deal with themselves. Same with chargebacks. I know it's a comment on chargebacks. Amazon deals with chargebacks on your behalf. So do you even know you've had a chargeback? Has anyone ever checked on the performance section for the chargeback claims for FBA orders?
No.
This is what I mean. I've just checked. I just checked mine. We've had five this month.
Wow.
But they've all been dealt with by Amazon on our behalf. I didn't even know they were there.
Yeah.
So I just what I'm saying. I don't think it's worse. I think it's just a lot of it is done by Amazon for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean said must have been something bad. It wasn't anything bad, but it was one of those things that it was a documentation issue. And that's when we always say, make sure everything matches, make sure everything is correct, make sure that you do not amend anything, because they take that as, they throw some really strong words about, they call it fraud, they call it all these different types of things. And, in most of those types of cases, it was provable, it wasn't, but 3 years, to get it back, most people, I don't know anyone, that's the longest I've heard anyway, about someone getting it back. I know there's some sort of chat going on there about some delivery and track and everything like that. Clip says, I've been stuck with my claim for 5 months now. I will keep fighting, and if it ever comes back, I'll be going wholesale all the way. OA or RA is too much headache. It can be, and I totally get that. I think it's one of those things that, you will get your account back. I've got no doubts about it whatsoever. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody like permanently forever suspended. I know it does happen, but there's always a chance of redemption if you persevere.
Yeah,
that's the way that I see it.
Definitely.
And an IP claim is not permanent. That's not
and the problem is, like you say, if you're not using something like suspension safeguard, you're probably just not putting either in keywords or ticking the box. When Amazon look at these, people have a tick list, and they have to tick. Does the seller do this, understand this, understand this? If you don't fill the tick box, you're going to get rejected. It doesn't matter what it is. That is literally all it is. And if all you've got to do is get somebody who knows what they're doing, knows how to put a template together, that's got all the tick box information, bam, you're back online, because that is as simple as it is.
Absolutely. And I literally saw someone the other day, and I can't remember which group it was in. There's millions of Amazon groups, obviously, who said that they'd just been reinstated. And it was literally a case of changing one word in the appeal.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was whatever the word was changed to, I can't remember. So Matthew's absolutely right. It is. Amazon's too big for them to look into and overthink stuff. That they don't
highly systemized.
Yeah, if you don't fit in the box, you're out. It's as simple as that. So that's absolutely the way they look at it. That's why we say, please don't take it permanently. Personally. It's not personal. It's a machine. You wouldn't get upset if, a machine didn't say hello to you in the morning, because it's a machine. It has its cogs and processes and works in a certain ways. Amazon is a machine. It's as simple as that. Fingers and toe, please keep us updated. Whoever you are, I don't know who you are, but Clips, please keep us updated. They've called me Nats, and they must know me. They must know us for sure. Right. Sean said you've talked regularly about what happened to yourself in Q4. I don't want to bring it up because it's like PTSD, kind of bringing it up, and why it caused you to, go into multiple income streams and on all these different things. I mean, I think we've all had an experience where something's happened. For Johnny, it will be a £750, pound refund today. For someone else, it will be for Clips, it will be the IP claim. For someone else, it will be, an unfair reimbursement, or something like that. So it is important. And like I said, believe me, when we talked about setting up this group, it really was with the intention moving forward to be able to help as many people as possible to set up different income streams at the right time for them, without promoting kind of shiny object syndrome, but kind of protecting yourself for the future. So fingers crossed. Johnny, those bloody Spider-Man walkie-talkies. So yeah, there's absolutely always someone having an issue with someone. Oh, so was it not Kinder Eggs? Was it a product recall for a toy?
Toys are really common for recalls.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, really common.
Especially when
I think some things are more recallable, shall we say, that anything that's involving kids, babies, or food is obviously, or health and beauty is probably going to be more likely to be recalled than other things, but it doesn't mean it can't happen.
Oh, right. No, Johnny, no, it must have been the Kinder Eggs. He said now suspended over Q4 3 years ago for the Spider-Man. Yeah, it must have been Kinder. Not really bothered about the refund. Let's get it back in 6 weeks. 100%. Love that attitude. So Rodney, that's what I'm going to call you now, says, are you going to cover standalone sites like Shopify? So we will do at some point in the future, definitely. We want to be able to encourage and support as many people as possible to be able to go into the fields that they want to. So yeah, absolutely. We will be talking about that. We'll be getting on, different guests that some of you guys in the world of, that maybe just been in the world of Amazon. I want to be talking to as many eBay experts as possible. Cover your ears, Matthew. Don't feel left out. I want to be talking.
Everybody can always learn.
Absolutely. I want to be talking to as many Shopify people as possible. Just want to be bringing people in to give you guys as much insight as possible into the areas that you want to go. Etsy is another big one as well for some of you. So yeah, we want to cover and expand as much as possible to be able to do that. So by the way, if you're watching and you know someone who will be interested in joining our group, please send them an invite. Because we want to grow the group as much as possible. And if you are watching via YouTube, and even if you're not watching via YouTube, please make sure that you subscribe to the Nevermind the Buy Box YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up, but mainly subscribe. That's the most important thing. It just means that every time we go live with something like this, and we're going to be adding regular video content soon as well. So not just us doing our weekly lives, but doing regular video content to the YouTube channel as well soon. It just means that whenever something gets uploaded, you get that notification. And they say, don't you have to hit like a notifications bell or something?
Notifications bell, like a notifications bell. Yeah, that's it.
I need to get one of the lines going, don't we? Say, hit that notification bell.
Yeah.
and do this. I don't want to go down that route, but we might have to if you guys don't subscribe. Making sure you do it.
Bell graphic, yeah.
Absolutely. Cindy said I have my shiny eye on Etsy. Absolutely. So Cindy said I've just had to put a blank circle on one of my listing photos on top of a logo because Amazon were fussing about a logo showing on the main page. I only wanted to get it reinstated so I could delete the listing without having to suspect an IP red light. Yeah, absolutely. So
we had the same today, actually. Similar search. Logo on a box.
Yeah, you can do it with different angle. If you can get it on a different angle, you can do that. If you can physically take the picture yourself, that will work. But yeah, blurring it out or I mean, do you remember the one? Did I post it in here or did I post it in the ESA? Sorry, similar colorings to the group. Sometimes I get, but there was one that I think it was ESA actually, and it was a load of LOL stuff that had just literally been pixelated on the logo on the full listing, and that gets them out of the suspected IP image claim.
Mad, isn't it?
It's crazy.
Mad.
But that's what I mean. It passes the test. So yeah, go figure. Who knows? Right. I think that's about us done for today. Didn't get half the stuff covered that we were going to talk about.
We're doing an hour and a quarter. We've covered half the stuff.
Absolutely. But one of the things I was going to talk about briefly was sales. It's very up and down at the moment. It's going to be something that people are going to be experiencing after a massive change like the FBA fee increase. People are going to see it as a good opportunity to be able to rinse their stock, have a stock purge, something like that, which actually I don't think is such a bad thing every now and again, having a good old inventory purge, getting rid of stuff that's been hanging around for a while. We talked about this previously before. Not every retailer, not every business in the world sells every single item of stock they have for a profit. Sometimes you have to just get rid in order to increase cash flow. It is what it is. That's what normal people do in normal businesses. That's where you see sales in retailers. A lot of the time it's being sold for less than they paid for it. So
most of the time it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot less.
Yeah. So it is something that it's very naive to think that every single product that you will ever sell in your business will be sold at a profit. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And that might sound harsh. It might sound, but it is a big dose of reality for sure. So, have a think about that. And it's why inventory management's really important. Mm-hmm. Johnny says, I need to move to Matt's warehouse software update to the top of the list. Or did I miss the talk?
No, you didn't miss the talk. Don't worry. It's a long drawn out process. We've had some bashed heads this morning over how to get it sorted. Because basically we've got to create. So what we've got, which is fine, works for us at the moment, is not the same format as what we need for the new system. So we basically have to go through every single product, like physically every single product, and fill in all the characteristics and the required information on everything we need. So yes, long drawn out process. I think it's going to be a while yet before we're up and running with that one. But we're working for as long term.
Hopefully you guys can have a chat about it. Johnny, drop me a message. So I don't think we can the date. If you can come on and do a session with Matt while I'm away, that would be great. And then you guys can spitball and talk about that on the session. I think that would be really great. Clip says sell-through rate is key. Absolutely. Biggest metric in Amazon.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Yeah. Biggest metric. So that's really, really important as well to maintain that, because not all sellers are equal on Amazon. That's what we've got to remember.
Absolutely, yeah.
Not all sellers are equal, and this is why it is absolutely such a myth to think that all sellers get treated the same. They don't, and everybody gets a fair share of the buy box. They don't, for different reasons, but we spoke about that at length
last week. Yeah. Can I just pick up on this comment? I'm not sure whose it is. It says basically that I'll be doing RA next week when holidays are over, people back at work. I would get yourself out this weekend. If you think about it logically, retailers know that the bank holiday is a high footfall time. Therefore, they often have a lot of product on sale during high footfall times because they want to sell it and they know that there's going to be people out this weekend. So unless there's obviously a reason you can't go, but I would consider bringing that trip forward to this weekend. You might be surprised at the success you have this weekend.
Absolutely. Cindy says, I've reinstated 2 of the 7 listings so far. Amazon computer keeps saying no. LOL. Keep going. Perseverance. But we should change this to ECOM in a circle perseverance or something like that. It's just that's all I'm going to keep saying because it's so true.
ECOM perseverance circle.
The ECOM perseverance circle. Yeah, that sounds better because it is so true. And, I've been talking about this a lot for, various different subjects over the last week or so. In a lot of cases, there's no magic formula for a lot of this stuff. It really is to do with perseverance, never giving up, taking action, acting on it, then making sure it's done. Yeah, you've got to make sure it's done right, of course. And whether you choose to pay someone to learn from someone that's trod that path before as to whether it's, right or not. But it's all about perseverance. Once it's in, once it's done, once it's right, just never give up. Keep going. You only fail when you quit. And it sounds a bit cheesy, but it's true.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, I think we shall call it a day. Well, I'm off.
She's done.
Well, I've got lives to do for the rest of the week and meetings and all that kind of jazz. But yes, I will be absent for a few weeks. Well, I say I'll be absent. I'm grateful for the COVID tests that we all as a family test negative for, just putting that out to the universe. But so I won't be here for a few weeks. We are going away. So Matthew and crew are going to be covering. So we're still going to be here same time every week at 1 o'clock. Johnny says he's in, but I'll drop you a message, Jenny, as well, which is...
I need to reach out. I think Hayden said he wanted to come on next week.
Yeah,
Hayden's still available.
Week, yeah. So
Hayden, Johnny the week after. And then you back the week after that?
No, I don't think I am, actually. So sorry.
I didn't think you were.
I did that with ESA as well. I thought I was away for 2 weeks, but because of where the dates fall, we end up traveling on, we travel on a Monday, so I can't do the Tuesday afterwards. And then we fly back on and we land back Thursday. It is first thing in the morning on a Thursday, but overnight flight. Been awake since the night before. You can't sleep on those type of flights anyway. Then traveling back from London, then with the kids, and all that. And after a few days in Florida, I'm not going to be my brain's not going to be any use to anyone. So all told, it's
3 weeks.
3 Tuesdays and 3 Thursdays. I'm afraid. So, but like everyone, we need the break as a family. We were talking about this earlier. It's been a long time. I know it's a first world problem, so apologies for anyone. But it's, like most, it's been a stressful few years. So it's nice to be able to get away and recharge.
Yeah. Holidays in the UK are nice, but I don't think it's the same as getting on the plane. It's that psychological. Yeah. I don't know what it is. It certainly is for me. Like going away to like the Lake District or Cornwall or something. It's like,
not
quite the same, is it? There's not that disconnect, I don't think.
No, definitely not. And I will kind of throw this out here. I know I'm not going to be able to, I'm going to create a rod for my own back when I'm away. I will always say that if you do, I don't mind receiving messages while I'm away or anything like that. But please do kind of bear in mind that I am away. If you can post it in the group and let other people kind of give advice and answer it, I would appreciate it. But if it is, I understand a lot of cases, things are personal and private. That you can't share it publicly, but just bear in mind that I'm away and it might take me longer to answer than I normally would.
You need the out of an office reply on it.
Yeah,
I'm currently away.
Could have that for Messenger, but I wouldn't be able to not reply because literally my inbox would just explode. So I wouldn't be able to not do it. But yeah, if I would appreciate everyone's patience and understanding over the next few weeks as much as possible. We don't go to the weekend, so hit me up before then. Got no issues with that. Cam House says, is there a way that I can completely remove an app from Amazon? I can only see the options to renew and disable.
Do you mean, I think I know what you mean, the name's gone. The authorization the AWS token. You just need to disable access, and then it will be removed. If that's what you're referring to for a third-party application. If you go into your settings and then third-party applications, if it's disabled access, it can't access your data, so it should be removed from there, and it won't be able to do anything.
Okay,
I think that's what you mean.
Yeah, I would just wait a couple of seconds from CamHeld just to say if that's what they meant. So thank you, Donna. Thank you, Yvonne. Really appreciate it. Be a good time to get away. Might do the odd live. I don't know. The internet's so good in America.
No.
I know.
No.
Well, no,
wait.
I mean,
have some time with the kids
on my personal Facebook. Yeah, you know.
Okay, but
yeah.
No, you're just going to make us all jealous.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you're not doing it. We'll be like in rain and like 15 degrees, and you'll be there like, look how sunny it is.
There is going to be, if we're personally friends on Facebook, it's going to be a sorry not sorry situation. There's going to be lots of Disney spam coming over the next few weeks.
That says no.
Okay, he's the boss. Right. Yes, it's because I wanted to redo my Profit Protector Pro because it's not working. Start again, do the settings over.
Right. Yeah. Just one sec. Let me just look in times in a second. I also saw the comment as well from YouTube about my eBay journey. We could potentially pencil that in for the never mind the buy box in 3 weeks.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That sounds like a cool thing to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Cindy says I want to see a gator. I don't want to, and it's gator mating season at the moment, which means that they're out and about. So like literally there's always this thing, it's called Only in Florida, where I share them quite a lot, where you literally just see people walking down the road and there's like a gator like walking next to them, or they dive in shops and they're just a gator's walking down like the strip mall or something like that right outside. And the tagline's Only in Florida, because someone said there's more gators in Florida than there's actually population, I think.
Is there really?
I think there is some sort of statistic. It could be one of Nat's crazy statistics again, though. I'm sure I heard that somewhere. I'm sure I heard there's more gators than people in Florida. But yeah, they're absolutely everywhere. Even better, a Meta gator. But yeah, I really don't like gators. I mean, not that anyone probably does, but sharks and alligators are my two big things that I don't really like. Sean says, when you come back, talk about how the economy is like. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely going to be doing that. And that's, that'll be really interesting to see, because America, I think, inflation-wise, is even in a worse position than us.
Is it?
And I think so.
They generally say what happens in America is usually about a couple of years ahead, don't they?
Yeah.
I think so. Whatever this sort of feeling is there, it's the same here, but in a few years' time. Yeah,
I think the phrase is when America sneezes, the world catches a cold. And so it would be interesting. But the area that I'm going to is highly popularized and highly lots and very touristy and highly inflated in price. So it's a bubble. Absolutely. It's a bubble. So I always like talking to local people. That's what I love about the Americans, because they're so talkative. Suits me. And so I do like talking, and I'll always ask about economic conditions and what the local economy is like. Are they feeling it? What was the impact when Disney was shut? It had 25,000 staff on for 250,000 or something like that, or wow. It would have had massive impacts on a lot of people in the local not just in Florida, but obviously in the US. So it'd be interesting to see. I want to see what the prices are like. Dollar is slightly better in terms of, I think it's slightly better than the last time we went. Or it might be, Matt's watching, so he'll probably say, no, it's worse now. But I think it is either or around the same, something like that. So it'll be interesting to see. And I'll definitely, talk about it when I come back for sure. Sean,
so do you want to just go back to that comment about the app? So just to confirm,
sorry.
If you go into your settings, whether there's a little cog on the right hand side of Amazon, go into user permissions. It'll say third-party developer and apps. Click view, manage your apps. and then whichever the app is you wish to remove, click disable, and then if you want to re-add it, you can then click renew, and it'll reconnect it from afresh.
Cool. Sounds good. Sean says, when house prices crash in the USA 6 months later, what happened here in the UK? I'm paying close attention to the USA. What happens in the USA, is coming to the UK. Yeah, it does generally. Absolutely. Lots of interest rate rising this year in the USA. Next one, us May next month, and scaring investors. It was interesting. Actually, our mortgage, they didn't implement the full rate increase. Our mortgage company, which I was really surprised about. So they only
maybe they're worried about defaults then.
They only.
Although I've been looking at a lot of data on this. The UK economy is nowhere near as kind of grown as much as the American market. In the 2008 crash, they kind of like the growth level was kind of in line with each other, whereas this time the UK is really down compared to America. So if there is a crash, I don't think it will be severe in the UK.
I don't think it will, personally, but
no.
Like we've always said, I'm not a financial expert, so what will be will be. There's nothing we can do to change it, unfortunately. Kamal said, Simon says mortgage free, thankfully. Absolutely. You've probably got an electric car as well. No, that's I know. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's very uncertain times at the moment. Cam House says, thank you. I'll try. PPP hasn't worked for me since trying it. I'm sorry to hear that. Please reach out to the team. They're very, very good. Very, very good at responding, very good at, looking at any issues individually. It's why I recommend Profit Protector Pro, because the team that backs it, I mean, it's amazing software anyway as well, but the team that backs it is, phenomenal in the way that they deal with, issues, which is only human. That's what happens with software. So please reach out to the team. I'm sure if there's an issue, that they can get it sorted for you. I think it's info@profitprotectorpro.com. Sean says, beat the system. Simon says, I wish. Right. We really will have to call it a day. Have to, love you and leave you. Like I said, I will be checking back with you. Yeah. Like in 3 weeks. You know what's going to happen in 3 weeks time? I'm going to be, back, and it's going to be like, oh, where's that 3 weeks gone? I can't believe it.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
It's going to be like that.
So we'll see you in May then.
Yes. Yeah. The dates fall really weird. It feels like, because the kids are having a week off of school, but sent the email an hour before they broke up on Friday. But they actually broke up on the 8th, and they won't be going 8th of April, and they won't be going back to school to the 8th of May because of where the holidays and the weekends and everything fall. It feels like they're off for sure. Yeah, Simon says, see you this evening. Absolutely. Yeah, if you're an ESA member and you're watching and
you're on tonight, ESA.
We're on at 7:00 tonight, and we are on at 7:00 on Thursday. So it's 2 double bubble ESA sessions this week. Obviously, it's taking into account of the holiday and having less. But Matthew, you're going to be covering an ESA session, aren't you?
I am. We're going to be doing EU sales.
Yeah, exactly, which is going to be cool. So, looking forward to that one. Not that I'll see it live, because I won't. I might do, because of where the time falls. Who knows? But thank you for all the well wishes. I really, really appreciate it. So yeah, I will see anyone that's an ESA member tonight. If not, I'll see the rest of you in 3 weeks. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Sean says, I got a mum who works with us doing less hours whilst the kids are off and making them up in Q4. She's happy to do so, and so am I. Absolutely. It's always good. Yeah. Always do a win-win. Always good to do a win-win. So, Matt, I'll see you next week, guys. And any questions, keep posting them in the group.
See you soon. See you next week. And now I'll see you in a month.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.